The phone call came at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. Larry Holmes was in his gym in Easton, Pennsylvania, training a young heavyweight, living the life of a retired champion, comfortable, respected, successful. Then his phone rang. Unknown number. Hello, Mr. Holmes? This is Dr. Abraham Lieberman. I'm Muhammad Ali's neurologist. I'm calling because Muhammad asked me to reach out to you. Larry's world stopped. Muhammad asked you to call me? Not in words. He can't speak anymore. The Parkinson's has progressed significantly, but he wrote your name down on a pad, very slowly, very deliberately. Took him 20 minutes to write Larry Holmes. Then he pointed to a phone. The message was clear. Find Larry. Contact him. Tell him something. Tell me what? That he's running out of time. That if there's something you need to say to him, you should say it soon. The disease is progressing rapidly. We don't know how much longer he'll be able to understand communication, how much longer he'll be present. Larry sat down heavily. He wants to see me? He wrote your name. That's as close to yes as he can get right now. Why? After all these years? Larry couldn't finish. Couldn't say it out loud. After you beat him? Dr. Lieberman finished gently. I don't know, but I've been his doctor for 12 years. And I've learned something about Muhammad Ali. He doesn't hold grudges. He forgives. Sometimes before you even apologize. Maybe he knows you've been carrying something. Maybe he wants to release you from it. Larry felt tears starting. I beat him so badly. October 1980. 10 rounds. He wouldn't quit. His corner had to stop it. And I knew, even while it was happening, I knew I was hurting him too much. Knew I should stop, but I didn't. And you've been carrying that for how long? 31 years. Every day. Every time someone mentions that fight. Every time they call it my greatest victory. It feels like my greatest sin. Then maybe Muhammad's giving you a gift, the gift of forgiveness. But you have to accept it. You have to show up. Larry wiped his eyes. Where is he? Phoenix, St. Joseph's Hospital, room 412. He's stable right now. Alert in the mornings. Tired by evening. If you're gonna come soon. Come while he can still see you. Still know you. Still give you what you've been needing. I'll be there tomorrow. Good. And Mr. Holmes? Don't waste time being afraid. Don't waste time rehearsing what you'll say. Just come. Just be honest. Just be human. That's all Muhammad ever wanted from any of us. Our humanity. The call ended, and Larry Holmes sat in his gym, surrounded by heavy bags and jump ropes and the tools of the trade that had given him everything and cost him his peace. He looked at the young fighter he'd been training. Session's over. I gotta go to Arizona. Now, we got 3 more rounds planned. Some rounds can't wait. Some fights don't happen in the ring. And I've been postponing this one for 3 decades. Time to stop running. He packed a bag, booked a flight, and 12 hours later stood outside room 412 in Phoenix. Heart pounding, hands shaking, carrying 31 years of guilt. He knocked that a woman answered. Beautiful, kind eyes. Muhammad's wife. You're Larry Holmes, she said. Not a question. I am. The doctor called me. Said Muhammad wanted to see me. He did. He's been waiting. Come in. Larry walked in. And there, in the hospital bed, was Muhammad Ali. Older, thinner, trembling from disease. But his eyes were clear, present. And when they locked onto Larry, something passed between them. Recognition, understanding, and the beginning of the conversation that should have happened 31 years ago. Phoenix, Arizona, March 24th, 2011. That Larry Holmes hadn't seen Muhammad Ali in person since 1998. 13 years. But that meeting had been brief. A chance encounter at a boxing event. Polite smiles. Professional courtesy. Nothing real. Nothing honest. Before that, 1980, the night of the fight. The night Larry became champion, and Ali became a cautionary tale. 31 years of distance. 31 years of avoiding. 31 years of pretending He didn't carry October 2nd, 1980 like a stone in his chest. But now, standing in his hospital room, there was nowhere left to hide. "Larry," Lonnie said gently, "he's awake. He knows you're here." Larry walked to the bedside, slowly, each step feeling heavier than the last. When he reached the chair beside the bed, he sat down, close enough to see the tremors, the weakness, the cost of being the greatest. "Muhammad," Larry said, his voice barely above a whisper. "It's Larry. Larry Holmes. I don't know if you remember me." Ali's hand moved, trembling from Parkinson's, but reaching, pointing at Larry, then at himself, then making a boxing motion. Slow, shaky, but unmistakable that I remember. "We fought. I remember everything." Larry felt his throat close. "Yeah, we fought. October 2nd, 1980. You remember that?" Ali nodded. "Once. Clear. No hesitation." "I've been wanting to talk to you about that night for 31 years, Larry continued. "But I never had the courage, never had the words, never thought you'd want to hear it." Ali's hand moved again, this time tapping his chest, then pointing at Larry. "Message, I'm listening. Tell me." Larry took a deep breath. "You were my hero, Muhammad. Before I was your opponent, I was your fan. When I was a kid in Easton, you were everything I wanted to be. Fast, smart, brave. You stood up to the government. You lost your title for your beliefs. You came back stronger. You were more than a boxer. You were a symbol." Ali's eyes softened. "Listening. And then I got good. Really good. And you were getting older. And people started talking about us fighting. And part of me was honored. But part of me was terrified. Because you were still my hero. And I didn't want to be the one who—" Larry stopped, breathed, "who proved you were human." The room was silent, except for the medical equipment, the beeping, the breathing, the mechanical sounds of life continuing. "But we fought anyway," Larry continued. "October 2nd, 1980, Caesar's Palace. You were 38. I was 30, and from the first round, I knew you shouldn't be there. Knew you weren't the same fighter. Knew your body couldn't do what your mind was telling it to do." Ali's face showed pain. Not physical. Something deeper. Memory pain. The pain of knowing your body betrayed you. "But you wouldn't quit," Larry said. "Round after round, I was hitting you. Clean. Hard. And you couldn't hit back. Not really. Your punches were slow. Weak. Missing. And I was connecting. Every time. And I kept thinking, someone's going to stop this. Your corner's going to stop this. The ref's going to stop this. Somebody's going to save you from yourself." Tears started falling down Larry's face. But nobody did. Not until round 10. Not until Angelo finally threw in the towel. Not until they finally protected you from your own courage. And you know what I did? I celebrated. I jumped around that ring like I'd done something great. Like beating a 38-year-old man who couldn't defend himself was an achievement. Ali's hand moved, reached out, touched Larry's arm. Weak, trembling, but intentional. "And for 31 years, Larry's voice broke, "I've been living with what I did to you that night. Every time someone calls it my greatest victory, I want to scream. Every time they show highlights, I want to turn away, because I know what they don't know. I know I should have stopped. Should have told the ref you'd had enough. Should have protected you the way you protected me when I was your sparring partner." He looked directly into Ali's eyes. "I'm sorry, Muhammad. I'm so sorry. I didn't just beat you that night, I hurt you. I damaged you. And I think that fight contributed to this." He gestured at the Parkinsons, at the tremors, at the silence. "And I've been carrying that guilt for 3 decades. And I need you to know, if I could take it back, I would. If I could go back to 1980 and tell the ref to stop it in round 5, I would. If I could trade my victory for your health, I'd do it in a heartbeat." The room was heavy with emotion, with truth, with the weight of things that should have been said decades ago. Ali's eyes filled with tears, not from sadness, from understanding, from recognition that this man, this opponent, had been suffering too, had been carrying his own burden, his own version of October 2nd, 1980. His hand squeezed Larry's arm. Firmer now, message becoming clearer. Then Ollie did something that made Larry break. Completely, he smiled. Not a bitter smile. Not a painful smile. A genuine smile. Full of warmth. Full of compassion. Full of forgiveness. And his mouth moved, trying to form words. Struggling against the disease. Forcing something out. Finally, barely audible but unmistakable. Brother. Larry collapsed forward. Head on the bed. Body shaking with sobs. Brother. Yeah, we're brothers. In this crazy sport. In this crazy life. Brothers. Ali's hand moved to Larry's head. Resting there. Gentle. Fatherly. The gesture of a man who understood suffering. Who understood regret. Who understood that they'd both been prisoners of that night in different ways. And in that touch, in that word, Larry Holmes felt something he hadn't felt in 31 years. Free. Lonnie stood in the corner, crying quietly, witnessing something boxing historians would never record, that HBO would never document, that most people would never know happened. The reconciliation of two warriors, not in front of cameras, not for show, just two men acknowledging that violence had cost them both something, and choosing, finally, to let it go. After several minutes, Larry lifted his head, wiped his face. Thank you. Thank you for forgiving me. I don't deserve it, but thank you. Ollie shook his head, slight but firm. His hand moved to his chest, then to Larry's chest, then brought them together. Message, we both suffered. We both paid. We both deserve peace. You know what the hardest part was? Larry asked, after that fight, people treated me like I'd done something wrong. Like beating you made me a villain. And I wanted to say, he wouldn't quit. I begged the ref to stop it, but he wouldn't quit. But I couldn't, because it sounded like I was blaming you, and you weren't to blame. Nobody was to blame. It was just boxing, just a sport we loved that didn't love us back. Ollie nodded, understanding completely, because he'd lived that truth longer than anyone. I retired 4 years later. Larry continued. 1985, 35 years old. Still young, still capable. But I couldn't do it anymore. Couldn't take the hits. Couldn't give the hits. Couldn't look at opponents and wonder if I was about to do to them what I did to you. Every time I trained, I saw your face. Every time I fought, I held back a little. Afraid of hurting someone too much. Afraid of creating another October 2nd, 1980 for someone else. He looked at Ollie. Really looked at him. At the tremors. At the silence, at the cost. They say boxing gave us everything. But look at us. Look at what it took. Your voice, your movement, your health, my peace, my joy, my ability to feel proud of what I accomplished. We both paid too much for glory that didn't last. Ali's hand moved, pointing at the wall, at nothing specific. But the gesture was clear, not just us. Everyone, every fighter. Every warrior, everyone who steps in that ring pays, in different ways, but everyone pays. Then why'd we do it? Larry asked, why we keep fighting, why we sacrifice so much for something that would eventually destroy us. Ali's hand moved again, this time to his heart. Then he pointed at Larry's heart. Message, because it was who we were, because we had no choice, because fighters fight. It's what we do. Larry understood. Yeah, we're fighters. Can't help it. Can't change it. Can't regret it, even when it costs us everything. Ollie nodded. Then his hand moved one more time, touched Larry's hand, held it, squeezed with what little strength remained. And in that grip, Larry felt everything Ollie couldn't say. I forgive you. I understand you. I release you. You're free now. We both are. Larry stayed for 3 hours. They didn't talk much. Ollie couldn't, but they sat together, hands connected. Two old fighters who destroyed each other in one way and saved each other in another. AT1 point. Lonnie brought photo albums, showed pictures of Ollie through the years. Young, strong, beautiful, full of life. Larry looked at them with tears. That's how I want to remember you. Not October 1980. Not this. He gestured at the hospital. But that, the butterfly, the greatest, the man who changed the world. Ollie smiled, pointed at a photo of Larry. Young, powerful, champion, message. And I want to remember you like this. Not as the man who beat me. As the champion you were. The fighter you became. They looked through photos until Ollie started getting tired. Eyes getting heavy. Tremors getting worse. The disease reminding them both that time was limited. I should go, Larry said. Let you rest. Ollie's hand held his. Not letting go. Not yet. What is it? Larry asked. Ollie pointed his pad. To the pen. Lonnie understood. Brought them over. Ollie took the pen. Hands shaking violently. But determined. Started writing. Slowly. Painfully. Each letter a battle point 5 minutes later. He finished. Pushed the pad toward Larry. Larry read. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your courage. You freed us both. Larry broke again. How? How did I free you? Ollie wrote. Carrying guilt. You carried guilt. I carried guilt for making you hurt me. For not quitting. For not protecting you from having to be villain. Now we both put it down. Larry stared at the words. Understanding finally clicking. They'd both been prisoners. Ollie imprisoned by his pride that wouldn't let him quit. Larry imprisoned by his duty that wouldn't let him stop, and neither had known the other was suffering too. Muhammad, Larry said, thank you for the call, for this conversation, for the forgiveness I didn't know I was allowed to ask for. Ollie wrote one more thing. Brothers forever. Larry stood, leaned down, did something he'd never done in 31 years. He kissed Ali's forehead. Brothers forever. I love you, champ. Ali's eyes closed. Content. Peaceful. Lighter. And Larry Holmes walked out of room 412 carrying something different than what he brought in. He brought guilt. Shamed 31 years of unresolved pain. He left with forgiveness, understanding, and the knowledge that Muhammad Ali, even in silence, even in sickness, was still teaching the world about mercy. 6 weeks later, Larry was back in his gym in Easton when his phone rang. Lonnie Ali. Larry, I wanted you to know. Muhammad passed away this morning. Peacefully. Surrounded by family. Larry sat down. Felt the weight. But also felt something else. Gratitude. Thank you for calling. And thank you for letting me see him. For giving me that time. He wanted to see you. Had wanted to for years. But didn't know how to reach out. Didn't know if you'd come. When Dr. Lieberman called you, Muhammad was so relieved. So happy. Those 3 hours you spent with him were some of his most peaceful in years. They were my most peaceful, too. He left something for you. In his will, said to give it to you after he passed. What is it? A letter, written over several days. With my help. But his words, he wanted you to have them. I'll mail it to you. What does it say? I can't tell you. That's between you and him. But Larry, whatever guilt you've been carrying, whatever burden you think you have, this letter will finish what that hospital visit started. It will complete your freedom. The letter arrived 3 days later. Larry opened it alone. Read, Dear Larry, thank you for being brave enough to visit me. Thank you for carrying 31 years of guilt you never needed to carry. Thank you for being human enough to hurt. That shows you always had a heart. That I forgive you for October 2nd, 1980. But more than that, I want you to know there was nothing to forgive. You did your job. You fought your fight. You were the better man that night.